So this complete editing setup right behind me costs just under $1,000, and it's great for editing all sorts of video and photo projects. So in this video, let's break down everything about this setup and also test its editing performance.
You gotta just press record.
Hey everybody, Craig here with Think Media. So for today's video, we wanted to build a budget-friendly and user-friendly, easy to set up computer system for editing and professional video production workflows. So whether you're a YouTuber or a professional video editor, something like that, this system is going to work great for you, and it's not going to break the bank. There's only a handful of items that it takes to create this build, and they're all really easy to set up. So we're going to start with the computer that we selected for this build, which is the 2024 Mac Mini M4. And this is the baseline model that only cost about $549 at the time of recording this video. So the main reason we went with the Mac Mini is because it's honestly a really powerful and capable editing machine for under $600 brand new. With the Mac Mini, you're going to get seamless integration with other Apple products as well. So that's the main reason I went with the Mac Mini for this build, because I'm already in the Apple ecosystem. I use the iPhone, I use the Apple Watch, I have an iPad, and it just pairs really nicely all together. The design of the Mac Mini is really sleek. It is super small as well and hardly just takes up any space on your desk. And the specs, even of the baseline model, are super impressive. With the baseline MacBook Pro, you get the M4 chip, which is very fast, especially if you're still on some of the older M series chips, or even the older like Intel Macs. I feel for you if that's you. Let's get you upgraded to something nicer like the baseline Mac Mini. This is a great option for you. You also get 16 gigabytes of RAM. The baseline comes with a 256 gigabyte SSD internal, and you also get gigabit Ethernet ports. So this is really great for fast file transfers and download speeds from the internet. And the Mac Mini also has 5 USB-C ports, an HDMI port, and a 3.5mm audio jack for plugging in different audio devices. So the Mac Mini really does have all the performance you need to start editing at a high level, but it really just is kind of the brain of this computer system, and we need to round it out with some of these additional accessories that'll create our entire editing setup. Now for our computer monitor, I wanted a reliable brand name monitor, and this is one of the best ones I could find for a fairly affordable price. It's the Dell S2725HS 27-inch computer monitor. I know that's a crazy name, but we'll link it down in the description below, along with all of the accessories for this video. The setup for this monitor was honestly really easy. It took about 5 minutes or less to even get it set up. This is a 1080p computer monitor, which is totally fine for most of my editing purposes. I don't necessarily need a 4K or a 2K display when I'm editing. 1080p is totally fine. It's also a great size. 27 inches is plenty of real estate for editing, or even having multiple tabs open when I'm reviewing an edit, maybe side by side next to a script. Plenty of real estate here with that 27 inches. This monitor also has a 100 Hertz refresh rate, and all that really means is that the screen is refreshing 100 times per second, which is going to give you a lot smoother motion when you're editing compared to monitors with a lower refresh rate, something like 60 Hertz. So all that's really going to mean is your video footage is going to look better and a lot smoother when you're editing. This monitor has pretty good colors straight out of the box. I do think that the colors lean a little bit warm when I compare it to my MacBook Pro screen, but you can do some simple color adjustments in the menu, or you could even run this monitor through some sort of online calibration tool if you really want to dial in your colors for your specific use case. This screen's also really good at reducing glare. I've noticed that when I have my video lights on in my studio, my MacBook Pro has really bad glare sometimes, and if I have a bright light shining near my computer screen, it's kind of hard to see, but this Dell monitor is great at reducing that glare, and my contrast ratios still look really great even when I have these large video lights on in my studio. Also aesthetically, I just like the way it looks. I like the white base and the thin bezels around. Overall, I'm just very satisfied with this computer monitor. Now moving on to our keyboard and mouse, I had to go pretty budget here because again, we're trying to stay under that $1,000. So I went with this $30 Amazon Basics wireless keyboard and mouse, which honestly I was surprised at how solid they perform. Starting with the keyboard, I love the responsiveness of the buttons. It actually feels like a really solid keyboard, and essentially there's no delay from when I start typing to when I see the response on my display. So this is again a wireless keyboard display. So there's a little Bluetooth connector that you plug into your Mac Mini, and now you're able to use this keyboard and mouse wirelessly. If I didn't know that this was a wireless keyboard, I would think that it's tethered, plugged in directly to my computer because it is that responsive. You also get a full-size number pad on the right side of the keyboard, and a lot of people are going to enjoy that, as well as several other custom buttons that perform different functions. Now the mouse that this kit comes with is decent. I usually prefer a more ergonomic mouse, something like the Logitech MX Master 3, which I've been using for years. We love this mouse at Think Media. All of us actually use this mouse, which is pretty funny. But the fact that this mouse is included with the keyboard is really nice, and it works totally fine. So overall, for $30, it's a really solid keyboard and mouse option, and maybe you already have a keyboard or mouse laying around your house. You can just use that with your Mac Mini. Now, I also needed to pick up one of these USB-A to USB-C adapters for like $9. We need this little adapter to connect our Bluetooth receiver to our Mac Mini because the M4 Mac Mini only has USB Type-C ports. So this little Bluetooth receiver is a USB-A receiver. So we plug that into this adapter and then plug that into our Mac Mini and we're good to go. Now let's talk about audio. So how are we going to hear our sound as we're editing and creating video projects? Well, the built-in speaker of the Mac Mini is actually pretty impressive. It's pretty loud, it's got a bright sound, and it's decent for reference audio, but it's not the best for actual video editing, and it's not very loud. So improving our audio when we're not using headphones, we went with the Sanyun SW208 3-inch speakers. So this is a 2 set of speakers for only $70. Now aesthetically, I think these monitors look great. I love the white casing with the black speakers. I think that looks really good, especially with that white base of the computer monitor too. Those complement each other really well. And even like the silver tones of the Mac Mini just create a pretty cohesive feel for all of these accessories. Now in terms of sound quality with these speakers, for $70, they sound really good, but I think there are some issues with the higher end frequencies that are just kind of missing. So it does sound a little bit muffled at times. So I personally would use these computer monitors when I'm editing the majority of my A-roll and my B-roll. So just getting my story dialed in and locked in. And then when it comes time to edit my audio, like my music and my sound design and EQing of my voice, I'd switch to editing with these headphones, which are the Audio Technica ATH M20X. So these are $49 headphones that do sound really good and are going to be way more accurate when it comes time to EQ people's voices or do your music or sound design. They're also really comfortable to wear. I have no problem editing an entire YouTube video wearing these, but I typically like to bounce back and forth between editing without headphones, which is why I wanted to get these speakers, and then putting on headphones when I'm doing more intense sound editing. These headphones also have a 9-foot cable, which is very long. It's almost too long in some circumstances, but it's great for podcasting situations too. If you ever wanted to use these for podcasting and running cables from a soundboard or something like that, that 9-foot cable is going to be really helpful. Now for our final accessory for this build, we need to upgrade our storage. Because we went with the baseline Mac Mini, that only comes with 256 gigs of internal storage. So we need more storage to edit our video projects. So this 2TB Samsung T7 SSD, which stands for solid state drive, is going to give us way more storage for editing projects, storing media, and also allows us to just free up space on our Mac Mini for only running the most important applications that we need. Things like our editing software like Adobe Premiere or DaVinci Resolve, or photo editing software like Lightroom. Now SSDs like this one are usually way faster than standard spinning hard drives, but they're also usually a lot more expensive as well. So a little tip for workflow here is that I would purchase an SSD to store all of my projects that I'm actively working on. So maybe 3 or 4 projects would live on this T7 drive at any given time. And then as I finish those projects, I would transfer those to a more affordable long-term storage solution that maybe has 8 terabytes or 14 terabytes of more long-term storage. It's a lot more affordable to do that. And then by doing so, you can keep this 2TB SSD freed up for when you're actively editing more intense projects. So that's our entire editing setup that costs just under $1,000 for all of these different components. And I actually did do some speed and performance testing to see how this computer build compares to something like my M3 Max MacBook Pro setup. And that setup cost over $5,000, and the results between those tests were actually pretty interesting. So I first performed some benchmark testing using Geekbench, and all this really does is test your computer's processing and graphics performance. Now measuring the Mac Mini's single core performance, we got 3807, which is actually a really great score for a single core performance. The multi-core performance was 14120, and if you compare that to my M3 Max MacBook Pro, the single core performance was 3070, so actually the Mac Mini had a better single core performance, but the M3 Max has way more cores, so the multi-core score was 21405 for the MacBook Pro. I also did some disk speed testing using both the internal SSD and the external SSD. The internal SSD was measuring read speeds around 2800 megabits per second, and write speeds were just above 1900 megabits per second. The external Samsung T7 drive got read speeds at just above 800 megabits per second and write speeds at 660 megabits. So if all of those numbers don't mean a ton to you, all that's really going to translate as is really good performance for editing, especially 4K video with multiple 4K files on your timeline. When it came to export times in Adobe Premiere, I exported a 10-minute video clip that had a ton of different layers and a lot of stuff going on. That 10-minute clip took 14 minutes and 21 seconds with the M4 Mac Mini. The M3 Max MacBook Pro, on the other hand, only took 5 minutes and 43 seconds. But again, that's a $5,000 editing machine with 64 gigabytes of RAM. It's fully spec'd out with their highest chip. I then ran a test in Adobe Lightroom where I exported 100 RAW files from the Sony a7 IV, and my export times on the M4 Mac Mini were 1 minute and 9 seconds for those 100 RAW files. And then my M3 Max MacBook Pro did that all in 31 seconds. So again, the MacBook Pro is performing a lot quicker for these export scenarios, but in terms of playback and performance, I really don't see much of a difference. And my overall export times for this $549 Mac Mini are certainly more than acceptable when you compare it to my $5,000 MacBook Pro. So overall, I think this editing setup is great for both beginners and professionals. If you're somebody who is very budget conscious and you don't have a ton to spend, but you still want some of the best performance you can get, this whole setup for under $1,000 I think is a great option. And maybe you're somebody who already has a keyboard and a mouse or a monitor that you like or a pair of speakers, then you can use all those accessories you have and pair that with one of these Mac Minis, and you'll have a really simple but powerful editing machine that you can use for years to come. Now, if you want to see my entire editing workflow for how I edit a video in Adobe Premiere from start to finish, you can click or tap the screen right here to check out that video, and we'll see you in the next one.